I'm Vicki Davis, Martin County Supervisor of Elections. Thank you for joining us for Project Vote History. Local residents reflect on memories they have gained over the years regarding public service, the election process, and the importance of voting. Joining me today is Mary Dawson. Thank you, Mary.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for doing this.
My pleasure, my pleasure. It's been a fun experience, interviewing different ones.
I bet it's been a walk down memory lane, too, huh?
Yes, and just captivating those memories of voting and public service over the years, and in order to help encourage young people to become involved in the process, registered to vote, and actually get out there and vote, and even beyond that, because you've taken your voting experiences into public life. You served as a county commissioner from 1988 to 1992. Correct?
Yes.
And represented Palm City, of course.
Most of Western Martin County back in those days.
Exactly, Western Martin County. And then after that, you took your knowledge and experiences from the Board of County Commission, and you've written a book. You've helped preserve 714. So share some of your memories with us, Mary, about serving as a county commissioner and being involved.
The one thing I can tell you for absolutely sure, being a county commissioner is probably the best job you could ever have, because it gives you a chance to do, at least it did back in 1990, so many wonderful things for the community. That is the good side of it. Mm-hmm. The difficult side of it is that you have to get elected and stay elected, and that is the part that's nowhere near as much fun as the job.
Yeah.
It is just not as constructive as the job is. So I have to tell you that I support everybody. I sign petitions for everybody who's running, because I believe more people ought to be more real people in the community ought to be engaged in the political process.
Yes.
And anybody who has the courage and the will to do that, I support their effort.
What did your parents, were they involved in politics at all? What caused you to want to be involved in your community through public service? Well,
my mother was a little bit of a troublemaker, so I don't think I got it in from her. It really was, I think, that I moved to Martin County like everybody else moved to Martin County, and 2 months after I moved into my house, they told me that everything around me was going to change. And that, it was like I was the fifth person in Martin Downs before it was Martin Downs, and suddenly they were going to have 20,000 people move in around me.
I remember when it was cow pasture.
It was cow pasture when
Yes.
I moved in, but only for the next year. And I got caught up in the Martin County political process through that, like everybody else. I was in MB, and it was not in my backyard. Oh no, I just got here. It's wonderful. Let's protect it, right?
Yes.
And that's what got me caught up in it. We went on for like the next 4 years. We worked against that project, and although it got approved, by the time, this is the biggest lesson I learned from that, is by the time it got approved, it was such a better project, because we had done what we had done. You
became involved.
Yes, we fought for what we believed in for our community, and as a result, Martin Downs included school sites and parks and money for a new bridge, for the second span at the old Palm City Bridge. We made it a better project, and that is one of the things that citizens really need to understand, is that when they do stand up and fight for their community, that it makes their community better.
Yes, that's a great lesson. That is a wonderful lesson to share. And I want to thank you for your activism in preserving 714, because growing up, I'm a native Floridian. My uncle owned a ranch at the end of Martin Grade, close to the Okeechobee line. And I remember going over the grade when it was a dirt road and it was like a washboard. You and I have discussed this, getting stuck. But the beauty of that drive is, it should be preserved. And
well, we're still working on that. I mean, the scenic highway, we got the scenic highway designation. It took us 10 years. But the reason that got started was they adopted a plan to 4-lane the road and take down all the trees. Yes. Well, the reason I was involved in the project for the last 10 years is because back in 1990, they came up with a plan to widen the road and take down all the trees. And so we had to work to save it in 1990 because it's so beautiful. And then, you know, you think, okay, it's all right. And then 15 years later, they came back with another plan to take down all the trees. And even now with the scenic highway designation, you still have to be vigilant. And I think that is the other lesson about communities is it's never over. Mm-hmm. You have to there's always something that you need to be protecting the things you love from.
Yes.
You know, there's always a pressure from somewhere. I mean, whether it's sea level rise or global warming or some developer from some evil place. You know, there's always, the eternal vigilance is the price, and not just of democracy, it's the price, I think, of everything.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for being here today and sharing these lessons. And I'm Vicki Davis. Thanks for joining us for an episode of Project Vote History.